All right, so it's time to get this shit started. What we're gonna do is we're gonna tell a story. Now this is a story all about how weed got twisted upside down, and I'm gonna tell you everything one by one. We're gonna do it, and we're not gonna shoot the gun. So boom, imagine there's a spotlight shining down on history's most iconic stoners. A stage full of legends who didn't just light up, they lit the whole culture on fire. From reggae prophets to hip-hop heavyweights, country rebels to comedy duos who turned getting high into an art form. These aren't just celebrities. They're walking, talking, smoking pieces of cannabis history. What's up, potties? It's the dopest soul you'll ever meet, and welcome to High History, the series where we talk about real people getting real high back in the day. Today we're diving into the ultimate blunt rotation. We're talking Bob Marley, Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson, Cheech and Chong, Khalifa, and a few more surprises. Legends who turned smoke into stories, joints into joy, and made weed a worldwide movement. Let's spark this shit up, shall we?
I'm the type of nigga that gets sassy on the bitch. VVS, clarity, stone, Prezi on the bitch. And I'm feeling like the hand of God bless me in this bitch. Put respect up on my name, ho, I'm heavy in this bitch. I just want 7 Grammys.
So the first stoner legend we're gonna be talking about is, you know it, Bob Marley. You know he gotta be first, my nigga. He gotta be first, my nigga. Bob Marley was born on February 6th of 1945 in a place called 9 Mile, Jamaica. Hey, the funny thought. When I was in high school, I was a Jamaican. I had dreads and everything. If I find a picture, I'm gonna put it up here for y'all. But I had dreads and everything. I was a Jamaican. Bumba I was a Jamaican. You feel me? Like, that was my identity. I smoked weed and everything. I told the girls I was Jamaican and everything. Like, I won't bullshit. Yes, blah, blah. That said some bullshit to me. Bumba Don't play with me. Anyway, back to the story. Now, before the dreadlocks and the global fame, Marley was just a kid raised by a single mom in a rural town, soaking in the rhythms of rocksteady and early reggae. But it wasn't just the music that shaped him. It was also spirituality, specifically Rastafarianism. That belief system is what Marley's cannabis use finds its roots. For Rastas, weed isn't just a vibe, it's sacred, a way to connect with the divine. So by the time Marley's music hit international charts, his image was inseparable from the plant. He didn't just smoke it, he preached it in interviews, on album covers, in lyrics. Bob was that nigga, and he didn't do it just because he thought it was cool or because it was trending, but because for him, ganja was a portal to peace, protest, and purpose. He once said, "Herb is the healing of a nation," and for millions, it really became just that. So next up, we're gonna be talking about Willie Nelson, that outlaw with the joint. Yeah, baby. So born April 29th, 1933 in Abbott, Texas, Willie Nelson is the original outlaw country rebel. You hear me? The original outlaw country rebel. But his love affair with weed, that came after he nearly lost everything. So in the 1970s, Nelson was struggling financially, personally, and spiritually. He was drinking too much, burning out, until a friend handed him a joint and said, try this instead. Weed didn't just chill him out, it saved him. He stopped drinking, turned his life around a little bit. He did enough. He turned his life around a little bit and just started making music that felt honest. Hits like Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain and On the Road Again. I know y'all know that one. It made him a household name. But behind the scenes, he was blazing before, after, and hell, probably during sets. Willie's not just a stoner, he's an activist. He co-founded Normal's advisory board and even launched his own cannabis brand, Willie's Reserve. He once said he smoked on the rooftop of the White House. That's some real badass outlaw energy right there. Smoking on a rooftop, ashing your ash and plucking it on the grass from man, you bad to me, man. Come on now. And you know who there too? Ash it on his head. Sex. So we couldn't talk about stoner legends without talking about the dynamic duo. No duo made stoner culture as funny as Cheech and Chong. Cheech born July 13, 1946, and Chong born May 24, 1938. So they started as a counterculture comedy act in the late 60s. And what set them apart? Weed just wasn't a part of the joke. It was the joke. Their breakout film, Up in Smoke, became an instant classic. It wasn't about plot, it was about vibes. Getting high, dodging cops, getting high again, crashing a car, getting high again. But beneath the goofy characters and cloud of smoke, Cheech and Chong were breaking barriers. Their films made cannabis mainstream. They turned stoner into an identity instead of an insult. They faced censorship, raids, and criticism, but they also built a legacy. Chong even went to jail in the early 2000s for selling bongs. And Cheech, he became an art collector. Like what? Next up on Stoner Legends, we're gonna be talking about Calvin Broadus Jr., aka Snoop Dogg. So Snoop Dogg was born October 20th of 1971 in Long Beach, California. And let's be real, Uncle Snoop, he is modern weed culture right now. Like Uncle Snoop is weed. Like what? Weed is Snoop and Snoop is weed. From the minute he stepped on the scene with Dr. Dre on The Chronic, like come on, the title says it all. Snoop Dogg made weed cooler than it ever had been before. Smooth flow, laid back vibe, and always joint in hand. But it ain't just aesthetics. Snoop turned his love for weed into an empire. Music, media, merch, and now legal weed. He's the founder of Leafs by Snoop, one of the first celebrity cannabis brands in history. He once said he smoked 81 blunts in one day. Now I'm not saying that's not one of my goals or nothing like that. Like I'm cool. Like I don't, that's not my goal. I'm not saying encouraging that you should go smoke 81 blunts in one day. But we can't, like, you gotta get a man some credit for the dedication. So next up on the Stoner Legends list, we're gonna be talking about Wiz Khalifa. Cameron Jabril Tomez. Why you got a Z at the end of that instead of an S? I don't understand. If it's Thomas, just say Thomas. Tomez. I don't know. He must got a little, he might be a little spicy or something. He might got some Mexican. Ooh, is that racist? Don't cancel me, I'm so sorry. Let's just keep going. Better known as Wiz Khalifa. He brought stoner culture into the late 2000s with a whole new energy. So Marley brought spiritual depth, and Snoop brought swagger. Wiz Khalifa brought lifestyle. Rolling Papers wasn't just an album, it was a brand, a vibe, a whole movement of young people chasing good times, including myself. Just late nights and that top shelf smoke. From cushion orange juice to See You Again, Wiz has always made weed feel like a celebration. No paranoia, no politics, just roll one up and ride the wave. He's also a business mogul in the cannabis space. Khalifa Kush, his signature strand, is sold in dispensaries across the US. And he's worked with brands like Raw to keep the stoner scene fresh and stylish. You know, he want to keep the sweat. Ooh, I'm so corny. So Wiz may be mellow, but don't let that fool you. He's one of the most influential stoner voices of his generation. It's time to talk about the legends who didn't just smoke, but like all the other legends we just named, they made weed a full-blown lifestyle. Two stoner icons that exist on two totally different planes, but both defined what it means to be high as hell and vibing. Born out of Southgate, California in 1988, Cypress Hill became the first Latino hip-hop group to go multi-platinum, and they didn't apologize for not one puff they took the whole step of the way. Their debut, self-titled album, dropped in 1991. And by the time their album Black Sunday hit in 1993, with songs like Insane in the Brain and hits from the Bong, it was official. They was a part of hip-hop stoner culture. But this just wasn't music for weed heads. It was activism. Cypress Hill didn't just rap about weed. They pushed for its legalization. Be Real, Sin Dog, and DJ Muggs. Hell of some names, by the way. I'm not just gonna let that slide like you ain't just say Be Real and Sin Dogs. But whatever. They were showing up on stage with 6-foot joints. And that was before that was even remotely acceptable. Now flip the switch from the blunted chaos of the stage to the chillest man to ever exist in cinema. Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski, born in 1998, not the man, but the legendary film. Big Lebowski introduced us to the Dude, played by Jeff Bridges. This bathrobe wearing, white Russian drinking, weed smoking bowler wasn't just a character, he became big. The Coen brothers didn't intend to make a stoner icon, but the Dude abides, and weed culture embraced him. His life motto, don't do too much. Chill, smoke, and let it ride. The Dude represents the side of stoner culture that's about letting go. He's the antidote to burnout. The living, breathing, human version of, it's not that deep, bro. And that's a wrap on the real Mount Rushmore of marijuana. The icons who didn't just smoke, but totally transformed the way the world sees cannabis. From Bob Marley's soul-stirring reggae to Snoop's unapologetic stoner lifestyle, from Willie Nelson's high notes and Wiz Khalifa's stoner anthems. These legends built a culture that's bigger than bud. They turned weed into art, into activism, into legacy. And their impact is still rolling strong. Whether they were blazing trails through music, films, politics, or just living loud and lit, each one of these legends helped plant seeds of a movement that's still growing today. Now, I know we didn't get to every cannabis king and queen out there, but you know how it goes. My head can't hold but so much information. Like I already got my episodes planned out for a couple weeks in ahead, so I really be moving, y'all. I can't hold all of this, and I only got one side of my brain at work. The other side is for something else. Okay, it's not for y'all. But you can puff and pass that mic into the comments and let me know who your favorite stoner hold on. So we couldn't talk about stoner legends without talking about the dynamic. And they did it while blazing unapologetically the whole damn way. I don't even know if I said that right, unapologetically. And they did it without apologizing to a goddamn